well. If you're on TikTok and if you want to get a better view of my screen, consider going to Facebook or YouTube. Also streaming, I'm sorry, not Facebook, Twitch or YouTube. Those are the ones that it's like kind of easy to sign up for, right? I am also streaming to Facebook and LinkedIn, but right, those are not necessarily public out of the box. Cool, and it looks like those connections are live. So what are we doing today? We are doing unit tests for Blitz.js. This is Blitz.js. It's a wonderful React full stack framework. Builds on top of Next.js. And I use it for basically all my projects these days. Literally earlier today, I spun up a new project. They're on version 0.4.4, so it's not like officially prod ready, I guess. Yeah, it's still fairly new. So if you want something that's in a commercial production application, I would still go for Next.js. But this is what I'm using for all of my side projects these days, and I would also keep an eye on it for commercial use next year. Not quite there yet, but getting there soon. One thing, flight control right here. This will be a major step towards being production ready. So that is infrastructure as a service, specialty made for the Blitz framework, which is wild. It's kind of like Vercel to Next. So Vercel is like infrastructure, pipeline stuff, kind of specialty made for Next, right? But Blitz is much more capable than Next. All right, cool. So that's what Blitz is. And let's write tests for generator classes. First thing I need to do is ensure that I have a fork, which I think I already have, but let's just go check. Actually, I know I have it because I've already contributed to Blitz in the past. Got VS Code open, some unstaged changes. These are like bookmarks. Let's see if we can clear these up. Commit and push. And then the basic Next portfolio, what is that? I'm not sure what's out of sync there, but we'll push it. And then FutureCaster, it looks like changing the build there. See, I made this with Blitz as well. This was another side project. Oh, there's a glare right there. I'm going to have to change that. So this is version 0.3.9, but they're up to 0.4.4 now. I'm going to cut the light that's giving glare 1 second. Oh, cool. So you can read that better now, right? 0.3.9. Yep. So I'm going to just dump this because I will probably rebuild FutureCaster. So I don't see any sense in fine-tuning the build right now. I'll probably rewrite it on a newer version of Next. So now, do we see an asterisk? So the asterisk would indicate some unstaged changes. But I'm not really seeing an asterisk, so... Okay, there it is. Oh, this is the laterally slides. Yeah, I did a bunch of work on this. This is introduction to the master plan, continue. Commit that and push it. Okay, now you should be able to see, oh, commit and push. Control Enter will commit it. And then push. So now you can see the number on the source control icon has gone away. That means that we're up to date. So now I'm in Git Bash. I'm going to cd into my workspace GitHub projects, and cd into Blitz ls. We can see that I'm on a branch. I can git branch and see that I have these other branches. I'm going to git fetch -a, which will get all available branches. Now I git branch again, and we can see there are still only these. I'm expecting something like a mainline, master. I guess they're using the term canary, so let's verify that. So origin, yeah. So instead of main or mainline or anything like that, they're using the branch name of canary for the default branch. That's fine. So I will git checkout canary. I'm going to git pull upstream. I'm not going to pull, I'm going to fetch, sorry. Git fetch upstream upstream origin, upstream canary. Let's switch that slash to a space. Yep, there it is. All right, so now we have the latest code from canary. I'm going to get reset -hard on upstream canary. So now I have code which is identical to the official Blitz canary head, and now I'm going to git push to my own. Yep, and it failed. That's fine. I'll git push -f, forcing my fork head to reflect Blitz.js official canary head. So they're all even, and I still have these couple extra branches that I don't need. So I will git branch -D 2711 generate UUID, and then we'll do the same for 2806 lock file update, and we can git branch to see now there's only the one. All right, great. So ls, see what folders we have going on, and then I want to bring that over into VS Code. So let's add, go to the file icon, collapse all the other folders, and then right click in a neutral zone, add folder to workspace. We're going to pick Blitz, add, boom, and now it is available for us to work on. Okay, so generators are what we're going to write some tests for. So first thing, let's just make sure I can run tests. So npm run test is the conventional command. It looks like Blitz is respecting Node ecosystem convention. Kudos to them for that. Let's go ahead and look at the package.json anyway. So technically what's going on is this test command is being run. When I npm run test, we can see that internally it's calling yarn. I have both on my system. It's not a good idea to mix them. And we can see that they are not using a package lock, they are using a yarn lock file. So between the command context and the yarn lock, we are very confident that the convention is to use yarn rather than npm within this repository. And I think that's great. So I npm run test and there was a problem. I'm really not worried about it because I want to yarn run test. By the way, something I forgot to do, I need to update my install. So I took their code, but I didn't install since I did that. So if we're using yarn, I just run yarn. This is the equivalent of npm I or npm install. And so it looks like 4,800 package updates to be downloaded. So we're on 50 or 40 of 4,800. Okay, so this is going to take a minute. In the meantime, anybody have any questions? See if we can glance around at what's going on in Blitz world in the meantime. Got a bunch of failed PRs. This is actually a good sign. You might think, oh, failed PRs, this is a bad sign. It's actually a good sign because it indicates that they have basically merged up everything that they are technically able to merge up. So the only things hanging around are things which are either out of sync, they might need to merge. You know, if you have two pull requests and one gets merged and then they have conflicts, so these might need to resolve conflicts. And then they might just be flat out broken. What do you think of convolutional neural networks? I have a presentation in 2 weeks, but IDK, what to do? The word convolutional, I'm not sure what it's adding there. My understanding of convolutional neural networks is they're computed using gradient descent. How the fuck do you spell this? Convolutional. So let's check out Wikipedia. So I think convolutional neural networks are use gradient descent and backpropagation. The reason the term confuses me is because I don't know how a neural net would work without gradient descent and backpropagation. In deep learning, a convolutional neural network is a class of artificial neural network, where artificial neural network is just a neural network. Okay, another confusing extraneous term there, right? Most commonly applied to analyze visual imagery. Okay, so QWERTY, there's a good question for you. Are you doing image processing or not? They're known as shift invariant or space invariant artificial neural networks. Dude, people just adding fucking words they don't need to be adding. Neural networks are generally shift invariant and space invariant. Like, that's kind of the default case, right? Yeah, it's mainly for image classification. So I'm like kind of asking about your project that you're working on, because you can absolutely use neural networks, convolutional neural networks, all of these things for non-image processing. They have oh, here's a shitload of lists. Recommender systems, image classification, medical analysis, blah, 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 blah. Cool. Are regularized versions of multi-layer perceptrons. Literally just saying a bunch of shit that doesn't matter. Convolutional layers. Maybe this will help us. The input is a tensor with a shape. Yes, the image becomes abstracted to a feature map, also called an activation map, with a shape. Great. Involve the input and pass its result to the next layer. This is similar to the response of a neuron. Okay, yeah. Fully connected feed-forward neural networks. Yeah, feed-forward neural networks, if somebody specifies that it's a feed-forward neural network, now I'm concerned, like what? You don't have backpropagation? You need to, right? Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's just an ordinary neural network. I don't understand. So maybe this is the difference, is that technically the CNN has a tensor with a shape. I guess that's the whole key, right? That's what makes it a convolutional layer. Yeah, that's fine. Because we don't always use TensorFlow, right? Even though it's really common, you can do a neural network without a tensor, I think. Neural network, no tensor. Your neural network is probably not a tensor. Okay, I'm so pissed off. Is this true?
Okay, we're studying tensors, and you may have Googled around and found that tensors are attached to an enormous number of things. There are neural network software systems that are named with the word tensor. What the heck?
Yeah, it's mainly for image classification. I have to write a survey practice paper. So survey practice paper, do you mean survey like a literature review? Or do you mean survey like a questionnaire, like you're administering a questionnaire kind of survey? What do you mean?
Have tensor prominently featured on the first page of their documentation. There are examples by various bloggers that describe tensors that seem pretty straightforward, grids of numbers. However, this is a misunderstanding of what it is to be called a tensor and what it means to have that extra designation above just being a grid. While it's true that any grid of numbers could be manipulated like a tensor, you will lose all sense of understanding in your data science if you choose to attack it this way. So let's take a look at some examples.
A literature review, cool. Which I'm confused a little. How would I go about that? It's summarizing other papers, right? Yeah, okay, so there's two ways to do a literature review. This is an interesting thing. Your neural network is probably not a tensor. I'm actually gonna watch this later. I believe you can do a neural network without a tensor. I'm not sure if I would call that common, but I think it's possible. So I guess the term convolutional neural networks is just like saying, hey, we're the kind of neural network that uses a tensor. All right, dope. So now let's talk about literature reviews. So Google is your friend, so you can just say like literature review. And let's go to Google Scholar, first of all. Scholarly results, and then type in literature review. And you will find a lot of papers that are talking about like the right way to do a literature review. So right here we have 2006 NOP doing a literature review. Like these are some examples of literature reviews, which is fine. But examples of literature reviews are useful, but they're different than papers describing how to do a literature review. Here is a guide to writing the dissertation literature review, which I think is probably just going to be how to write a literature review. I don't think it's sensitive to whether you're writing a dissertation or not. So that's Randolph 2009, pretty recent. That works. Systematic approaches to a successful literature review. And this is a whole book, 2016, and this is highly cited, over 1,900 sites. So if you want something shorter, maybe this one that says dissertation, it's still highly cited, still recent. Yeah, this top doing a literature review is older and less cited. So I would kind of start with those two. But let me call out a couple things. Systematic approaches is actually an academic term. This might sound like it doesn't matter, but it does. So there is a difference. There are two kinds of literature reviews, basically. There are systematic literature reviews, and there are non-systematic literature reviews, aka literature reviews. Within systematic literature reviews, there's a special type called a meta-analysis, where you're actually pooling data and things like that. I think you're not doing that because typically we don't even call those literature reviews. We call them meta-analyses. So I would recommend to you, based on the little I know, that you do a systematic literature review. It's going to make you sound cool if you're kind of like floundering in like trying to figure out how to do a literature review. It's probably because you have a lack of structure and how to run your literature review. So the whole point of a systematic literature review is that there's a great structure there, and it makes it highly defensible and clear what you're doing. It clarifies everything for the reader, and it also makes it more defensible for the author. So I recently did a systematic literature review. It's kind of still in progress. Here, I'll show you my GitHub. Research, dissertation. So this alt-ed gender paper it includes a systematic literature review, coding bootcamps, and gender equity. The thing with a systematic literature review is you need to specify in your methodology what is your selection criteria. So with a systematic literature review, you're going to have some selection criteria, and that is going to determine what papers are included in your analysis and what papers are excluded in your analysis, and you're going to have a justification for those inclusions and those exclusions. And that's what makes it clear, and it's what makes it highly defensible, because the justification is going to be related to your research question. So it's going to help clarify your research question. That's the point of a methodology, is it kind of gives legs to your analysis. It's like you have your one-liner in your intro, but technically what do you mean is really spelled out in your methodology. So selection criteria will make that clear, and it also justifies not reviewing every paper ever written, right? Which is not tenable for anyone. So you need to first of all not get yourself in a situation where someone expects you to review every paper ever written, because that's not tenable. And then second of all, when you say I'm not going to review some paper, you need to have a reason. You can't just be like, I didn't feel like it, right? You need to have a defensible academic scholarly reason. So that's going to be spelled out in your selection criteria and your methodology section. By way of example, the selection criteria that I used in this paper was a seminal paper selection criteria. So I took a seminal paper in a literature. The seminal paper is the first paper in a literature. It sort of defines the literature. If there's like a cool term, it like defines that term or invents that term. If there's a cool data set or like an interesting operationalization or an interesting like way of measuring things, it's the first paper to do that. That's what makes it seminal. I guess what I'm asking is, what should the reader take out from reading the survey? The survey should function as an overview of the state of the art, how things are done in that literature today, an audit of the findings, the interesting findings that have been found, including positive and negative findings. So paper A stated X, paper B disputed X. So finding X is in dispute. That should be noted in a systematic literature review. If A and B agree, that should be noted. So your point here is to audit the important findings in the literature, describe kind of like terms related to the literature, and you also want to often summarize like where's the literature going, like opportunities for improvement and sort of holes in the literature. I think those are the main 3 or 4 things that you're after. So what is this literature? What does it mean? What are the terms and what do they even mean? What has already been found? What is in dispute? And what sort of big questions remain? I think that makes for a great systematic review. Absolutely. All right, I appreciate the like there. Keep the questions coming if you got them. But we are going to switch back to unit testing in the meantime. Yeah, so let's go back. Look at that. That was I see. Thank you. Hey, more than welcome. These videos are recorded to YouTube. If you want to go back and re-reference that, I encourage you to do so. You can always hit me up on Twitter, ask me a question there if you want to. And one more time, the name of the systematic literature review that I wrote was called Gender Equity in Coding Boot Camps, and it's in my GitHub research repository. All right, so this is sort of the user story that we're working on today. It's GitHub issues, so it's not exactly a user story, but basically that's the idea. And I don't think we're going to get to finish it, and that's totally fine, because I have, I think, about 40 more minutes. But this is the scope. Our current generators are all untested. Since this is core logic, that's pretty scary. We should write some tests. And TLDR, I'm assigned to it. And they have said that I can break it up into multiple pull requests, which I fully intend to do because that is a lot. All right, so we installed. Now let's yarn test. We're just going to make sure the existing tests work for me. You never know. I'm on a Windows machine. I've already run into cases where it's apparent that the Blitz core team doesn't always check Windows, basically. You're currently running TypeScript, which is not officially supported. That's not good. Let's see if it works. Please only submit bug reports when using the officially supported version. Red flag, red flag. Yo, look how slow this is. I think I need to delete my computer. I think it's time to spawn a new computer. I've been playing a lot of Moonlighter lately. Love that game. This game is hella fun. Not even gonna lie. All right, so we'll wait for that to run. We'll wait for. Oh, okay, it already broke. Cool. So it broke without any modification, which indicates a bug in the existing code base. I cannot submit it because my TypeScript version is too new. So I need to modify my TypeScript version. Your TypeScript version. No. They called for this. They called for this. Dang, Blitz. What you do, Blitz? Now I have to make you an issue. I hate this. I want to be solving issues, not creating issues. Let's first of all make sure that the issue hasn't already been filed, so we'll look for TypeScript. So I'm not seeing it. So I'm going to create a new issue. This is a bug report. So the issue here is out of the box TypeScript, out of the box TypeScript incompatibility, invalid. Oh, okay, this is interesting. You're currently running a version of TypeScript which is not officially supported by this library. This library is not declared. Okay. So this will be TypeScript incompatible with TSS tree. What is the problem? Let's get the Blitz version info. Blitz -- version. Wow, it is cannot find module Blitz config. We are not happy over here. Okay. V8 compile cache. This is so bad. This is really bad. Node modules, Blitz, JS, config. Config is not there. Okay, so what is the problem? Like so, Blitz version 0.44. You know what? Actually, it's not. It may not be equivalent to 0.44. It's going to be as of the last commit. Okay, well, that's where they bump it to 4.4. Okay. Checking out this commit, which I think is equivalent to 0.44 release. Yarn and yarn test fails out of the box without modification. Checking out this commit. I get an error. Well, paste all your error. Yeah. Okay. I get errors which are described below, including one that says this. Note that I'm on Windows. Okay, paste here, leave the triple marks, yep. Cool. Paste all relevant code snippets here. What are the detailed steps to reproduce this? Fork repo and set Blitz.js upstream and Git. Check out canary on fork. Git fetch upstream canary. Ooh, okay. This is a bad thing. So this is my local workspace, and then this is my node modules. This is my global yarn. Cannot find module blitz config. Yeah, because this is like not a thing. That's why. That's why you can't find it. Let's open up a new terminal. cd c users John Vanderveer at data. Local yarn data. Okay, local yarn data. Local yarn data. Global node modules Blitz. This is the one we're looking for. Let's just keep that. Remember. And then host pipe grep blitz dash CLI dot CJS. So it's there. CJS blitz CLI CJS dev JS blitz CLI CJS dev JS. It's there. It actually is there, even though I can't find it. Oh, maybe it did find it. So maybe it did find it and then it couldn't find this one, which is just a sibling file. But that also totally exists. So these all exist. Module not found. Which module is not found? Salesforce. Wow. Okay. Why on earth would Salesforce be available? I've never installed Salesforce. Okay. But it is. Wow. That is so weird. Is Blitz like internally using Salesforce? I don't know. Okay, whatever. And then this. Um, 818. So this also exists, but yeah, Blitz.js there doesn't. It's like bouncing back and forth between global and local, which is really bad. Any other applicable logs and screenshots that show your problem? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to leave it like that, but I'm going to dependencies. Is there not a dev dependencies? Dependencies. Dev. I don't see a dev dependencies. So everything is just a dependency. Okay. Also, what is this ultra R test? What is ultra? Lint and build and ultra test. Build and test only packages. Ultra. What is this ultra stuff? Okay, I'll just submit the issue. Yeah, that's fine. Submit the issue. Boo. This feels like one of those things that if I, oh, Rafal, what's up? This feels like one of those things that if I was on a Mac wouldn't be a problem. But I'm not on a Mac. So, Liddy. Let's try. So yarn test didn't work. Let's see if I can run a narrower band of tests. Maybe I just do jest, which I have. What is this ultra thing? Ultra runner. It's a different test runner. Okay. So generator classes, where do these fall? Let's try to find or model generator. Let's go for that. Okay. So we're gonna just try and test this bad boy right here. So this falls under packages. So maybe we can just test only packages, and that will possibly save us. Yarn test only packages. Good, good, good. No test found. Wait, I don't know if that's good. Cool. Cannot find module Blitz.js display. So this is also not working. Okay. So let's go to this file. Blitz installer has no exported member transform blitz config. Yeah, it's like expecting all these Blitz packages to like magically be there, but they're not. And I don't really know why they would be. Because they're not declared. Let's check if there's any instructions around testing. Run tests on both Windows and Ubuntu. So it says that they have intent to run tests on Windows. Oh, there's a manifesto. Great. There's me. What's that? Code test and documentation. Whoop whoop. I got all the icons. Yeah. So this feels like a distinct issue. So let's create a new issue. All right. So we're not going to be able to do tests today. So TS incompatible with TypeScript S-tree is one issue. And now we're going to create a new issue. Dang, this feels so bad. So this issue is tests fail out of the box on Windows. What is the problem? Let's take the top section, checking out this commit. Okay, so 2 further notes. 1 on two on I forgot to ask when I was on earlier, what are you using for unit tests? I've just popped in a few times. So this is the Blitz repository, and they use a combination of Jest and Ultra. Well, you can't win them all, folks. So, tried to work on some unit tests, and I was blocked by these. Tried to work this on a Windows machine, and I was blocked by 2 issues. I'll try from a Mac next week and or try again from Windows as those other issues are worked through. Ultra, that's cool. I'll have to look into it. I recently learned Jest and I like it, very intuitive. I tried to break Blitz apart before and it's quite complex. Yeah, it really is. It really is. I don't know Ultra either. I just found out about it today. Oh, hey Josh, check this out. I stole your idea that you gave me. Check that out. Hey, my name is John. Nice to meet you. Pretty solid, right? All right, y'all. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks for joining. Until next week. Ta-ta.